Hi, vacation rental owner or manager. Have you wondered what color to paint your vacation rental? What color to paint the walls is one of the most common questions I get asked, and today I'll share exactly what the color is and how it can make you more revenue. Hi, vacation rental owner. Welcome to Step Up Your STR, the show all about specialized decorating so that your STR can make max revenue. I'm Cara and I've designed dozens of STRs, all of which charge in the top 10% of their area competitors and earn up to 153% more after my designs. I'm an unapologetic evangelist for the idea that your STR's income is only as good as its design. Today, we're diving into one of the most misunderstood, underappreciated, and when done right, one of the most profitable design decisions you can make in a vacation rental. White walls. Yes, white. Not a trendy beige, not a moody charcoal, not wallpapered murals of the Amalfi Coast, but white walls. I know that some of you must be skeptical already, but stick with me. This definitely isn't about being boring or sterile. It's about using white as a strategy. The biggest thing about white is that it gives a feeling of clean, and clean is what guests want first and foremost. That matters a ton. And when used correctly, white walls are not bland. They're branding. They're revenue. They are the backdrop that makes everything else pop. Think about it like going to a five-star restaurant. They always serve the food on a perfectly clean, crisp, white plate. That white plate shows off the food beautifully. It makes the meal look more elevated. And this can apply to your STR as well. White walls are actually one of the top 3 fundamental strategies I use to help my clients make maximum revenue. So whether you're furnishing your first vacation rental or running a 25 property portfolio, this one strategy can completely shift your bookings, your photos, and your profits. First, let's talk about the why. Most STR owners make decor decisions based on their own personal taste. They think about what they like, what their own home currently looks like, or maybe what's trending on Instagram. And actually, you should like your space. The problem, though, comes when you're only thinking of what you like. You are not your target market, and STR design isn't just about your personality. It's about profitability. It's about also appealing and drawing in potential guests. Now, when it comes to paint, people go wrong in 2 major ways. First, they go too dark, thinking it's cozy or maybe even luxurious. But in photos, dark reads as cramped and dingy. The next problem is people often go too colorful with their paint choices. They're trying to create personality with wall color instead of with art, furnishings, or textiles. Now, here's the thing. Color on the wall is a permanent commitment, or mostly permanent. And in an STR, you need flexibility. You need seasonless. You need photos that stop the scroll and attract the biggest possible numbers of your target market. And white walls give you that edge. I would say 99% of the time. White walls are neutral without being boring. They are modern, but they are not cold. They are clean and don't have to read as sterile. If you choose the right white, which we'll talk about, and if you style it correctly. Now, white creates visual interest. It makes spaces look bigger, brighter, and more premium. And that's not just me saying it. This is backed by psychology and real estate photo analytics. Properties with light, white-based color schemes consistently outperform darker or more saturated palettes in online photos. Or online conversions, excuse me. Now, if you've ever asked yourself, why do my professional photos just look okay? Why doesn't my place look great in those photos? Why aren't guests saying anything good or anything at all about how my space looks? The answer might be on your walls. Let's go deeper into the psychology of white because this isn't just a design option. It is rooted in psychology and perception science. Color has emotional weight. It tells people how to feel. For instance, red is the color of excitement and passion and anger. Purple is often seen as spiritual or royal. But purple is also polarizing because it is the least liked color of the rainbow. But white is clean, safe, and elevated. We associate white with excellent hygiene. So think of spas, hotels, medical clinics, and even Apple stores. This is not accidental. White triggers a feeling of trust and cleanliness. And in the world of STRs, clean is what guests want, first and foremost, as I mentioned, and trust is a huge factor for whether they want to book your place or not. Your guests want to feel that the space is spotless, that they can relax, and even that they are going to get more than what they are paying for. White walls support those feelings. Even if your cleaning isn't perfect, which it should be, white walls feel clean. They give the message of you're in good hands. Now, beyond cleanliness, white communicates luxury. Think of high-end homes, those really high-end, amazing spas, art galleries, designer showrooms. What color are the walls? They're white, not tan, not a muted mauve or a yellow. White is luxurious. And here's something really important. White walls photograph better than anything else, in my experience, especially when styled intentionally. And in this business, photos equal profit. Now that we know that white walls feel good and look good, let's talk numbers. Here's how white walls help you earn more. Most bookings start with a scroll on the Airbnb or VRBO platform. If your thumbnail photo doesn't stop someone, you've already lost. They're not going to come back and click on your listing out of all the dozens of listings they've already seen. However, white walls give your property that pop in photos, especially when paired with vivid color accents. That combo catches the eye. White walls are a beautiful canvas for your awesome decor. White walls in my system of decorating STRs is foundational. It comes from what I call the magic trio. My friend calls it the homey trinity, and that's kind of stuck, the homey trinity. It's a strategy where you use three things: vivid color in textiles and or art, an Instagrammable feature or photo moment, and white walls. This trio is the fastest, easiest way to create maximum contrast, maximum memorability, and maximum booking appeal. I actually have a free printable that goes along with this magic trio, this homey trinity, and I will put the link for that in the description. White walls are the ultimate chameleons. This is point number 2, that you get design flexibility with white walls. They are chameleons because you can change out throw pillows, art, bedding, even your entire room of furniture, and white still works. That's crucial for keeping your listing fresh over time. And instead of repainting every few years, you just swap out some soft goods and accessories, and that flexibility will save you money, and it lets you respond to trends without being trapped by them. Also, white gives broad appeal. If you want consistent occupancy, you need to track a big number of guests. And even if you're trying to attract just couples or mainly attract families, white walls are inclusive. They do work for families, solo travelers, business travelers, luxury seekers. Dark or bold wall colors, on the other hand, are polarizing. White is not, it's inclusive. There's also this perceived value with white. So studies in real estate and retail show that white equals more expensive. It's perceived as more finished, more polished, and the perceived value drives price. Guests will pay more for a space that feels curated, fresh, and photo ready. To summarize all of that, white walls can literally increase your nightly rate. Now, there are a few common objections that I hear with white walls when I suggest white walls. First, people sometimes say, oh, white is boring. Only if you design it to be. White is not the main event. It's the stage. The drama comes from bold artwork, patterned pillows, some amazing sculptural light fixtures, some Instagrammable moments in your space. Now, when you layer those elements over white walls, the design comes alive. There is no boring there. White lets your intentionality show. Another part of a pushback that I get with white shows dirt. You know what also shows dirt? Everything. Everything shows dirt. And to illustrate this, in my first house, we remodeled the kitchen. The kitchen cabinets were that 1990s honey oak color, and they were kind of short, they were small. I wanted large, white, beautiful cabinetry. So many people said, no, don't get white. They'll always look dirty. Then I was talking with my mom about it, and she pointed out that her kitchen cabinets show dirt and grime, and hers were a wood tone. So everything shows dirt. And back to the story, we did get white kitchen cabinets and we love them. Also, you can think about it this way. For dirt to show up on white walls, that can be a good thing because white walls can help you spot scuffs early before a guest does. And modern paints like ScuffX by Benjamin Moore or it's called Bear Scuff Defense, I think. Those types of paints make maintenance really easy. Plus, most scuffs happen below 4 feet high, and that's just simply where you'll focus touch-up paint every 6 months or so. It's not a big deal, and it's totally worth the revenue return that white can give. Another objection I have heard is, but white looks sterile. I found that that's true only if you stop at paint. If you do white walls and then you skip rugs, skip art, skip texture, yes, it probably can feel sterile. But if you do white walls and some wood tones, soft textures, plants, warm lighting, then the whole space, the whole room feels inviting and luxurious. Okay, let's get practical because not all whites are created equally. There's a difference between a designer white and a builder grade flat white. The white color I recommend most often is White Dove. It's a color by Benjamin Moore. It's a soft white, but it still reads as a true clean white. And it's very balanced between warm and cool. So because it is balanced, it's not overly warm or overly cool, it looks excellent in a myriad of lighting situations, whether the light is artificial or natural light that streams in from windows that face north or east, whatever direction. White Dove also is wonderful in a wide variety of architectural styles, ranch, farmhouse, mountain house, definitely contemporary. Now let's talk about finish. Use an eggshell or satin sheen finish, meaning the shininess of your paint. Don't get a flat sheen. Eggshell is a great option. So is satin, actually. Eggshell and satin are great for STRs because they're wipeable, but they don't look overly glossy. So they're perfect for STRs where durability has to meet design. Also, pair your white with contrast. Once you have white walls, add intentional contrast with the furnishings. So get a jewel toned or a patterned rug, some really large scale art with color in it, some beautifully textured and patterned throw pillows, maybe even some accent chairs in a bold color. And again, as I mentioned before, white walls are like a canvas. They allow these items to shine. I want to share a quick example from one of my own client projects. This is a video podcast, so you can watch it. If you want to see it on YouTube, I'll leave a link for that in the description. Just look for Cara VR Decor. It'll come right up. So Cara is with a C as in Charlie, C-A-R-A, VR as in vacation rental decor. So VR Decor, Cara at YouTube. All right, in this room, what really stands out is this vivid blue on two of the walls. There are some accent walls. The decor is rather muted. There's a lot of little things. I'm sure that they had a great purpose at one point, but in the photos, they look like clutter a little bit. And this owner had very minimal bookings in the off season. Now, after we painted every wall White Dove by Benjamin Moore. We added a cool, sleek, modern bed with really sumptuous bedding. We added a seating area and we accented with cool blue and a toned down olive green color palette. And the result is that their bookings increased by 24% over 3 months. The property started getting tagged on Instagram a few times a month. The client raised their prices by $30 a night and hit 75% occupancy, which is actually a bit more than the STR owner wanted. He wanted 70% occupancy, but it continues to book a bit higher than that. White is not just theory, it works, and it works consistently. If you're convinced about white walls, and I hope you are, because like I said, they're foundational to how my clients make more revenue and have more bookings. Here's how to transition your STR to white walls without blowing your budget and without losing bookings. Step 1, choose your paint and finish. So I suggest that you order a sample swatch of White Dove and maybe a couple of other white paints that you might be considering. Get some, not swatches, excuse me, get some paint samples. You can get little 8-ounce size samples from like Home Depot and Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams. What you want to do is take each of your white paints and paint a 3 feet by 3 feet patch on at least 3 of the walls in each room. Then what you're going to do is look at them in daylight, at night, with your existing furniture, in natural light, and with your artificial lighting, like with your light fixtures. Then do prioritize your high impact rooms. If you can't paint everything at once, start with your living room, kitchen, and main bedroom. These are your photo heavy areas, and these are the rooms that guests typically care about the most. So paint those big swatches, look at them for a few days, and choose what you think looks the most beautiful, especially with your existing furniture. Now, once the rooms are painted and styled, get professional photos ASAP. Update your listing and emphasize freshly updated in your title or description, and just watch those impressions rise. All right, let's bring it home. If you take away one thing from this episode, let it be this. White walls are not a fallback. They are part of a revenue-making formula, a formula for better photos, more bookings, more design flexibility, elevated perception, and for sure, higher revenue. This is not about following trends. It's about building a brand-worthy, scroll-stopping, investment-worthy short-term rental. And I hope that have seen in your life, and that you can realize with this, sometimes the most powerful move is the simplest one. white walls are your canvas. Now let's paint the picture that your guests will love and pay more for. If you liked today's episode, will you please share it with a fellow STR host who might be stuck in the gray trap? You should have a design that pays you back. Remember to look in the description for those helpful links to free items. And until next time, remember, if your STR isn't designed for more revenue, it won't make more revenue. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking again next time.